The palace of the alien queen was a towering structure of black stone and crystalline spires, hidden in the heart of a once thriving alien empire. Its halls echoed with a strange, humming energy, and its chambers held secrets older than any known civilization. Yet, in the deepest corner of this palace, in the dimly lit utility rooms and beneath the polished floors, there worked one human. Evan was not a soldier. He wasn't a diplomat, a scientist, or a hero. He was just a janitor. A lowly worker, forgotten and unnoticed. In a place where the line between life and death was often decided by the slightest mistake. Since humanity's unexpected arrival in the galaxy, Evan had seen firsthand what the alien queen was capable of. She ruled with an iron fist, her empire stretching across countless star systems. She had slaughtered entire species with a mere gesture and decimated entire colonies for the slightest of offenses. And the servants, the ones who tended to the palace, worked her personal needs like Evan had always been at the mercy of her whims. Each day, one servant or another would vanish. Without warning, without explanation. And it was always the same. Each victim had simply failed to live up to her impossible expectations. A glance, a hesitation, a wrong word in her presence each was grounds for death. Evan had watched as the others were taken, their screams resonating through the thick stone walls. He had always worked silently, never drawing attention to himself. He was a survivor, if nothing else, but the others hadn't been so lucky. One by one, they fell. By the time Evan had been working for the Queen for a year, there were no other humans left. He had become the last of his kind aboard the Queen's ship. It was on a fateful evening that the Queen's presence in the palace grew particularly oppressive. Her command had been clear: "Prepare my chambers. Do not fail me." The voice rang out like a thunderclap, and Evan had felt the chill run down his spine as he scrambled to meet her demands. He had seen the look in her eyes, cold, calculating, as if she could smell weakness. The other servants had gone ahead of him, but none of them had returned. Evan's heart pounded in his chest as he slowly made his way to her chambers, mop in hand. Trying his best not to let his trembling hands betray his fear, the Queen sat on her throne, her regal posture enough to make any being quake. Her skin shimmered with an otherworldly glow, her eyes like burning coals. "You are late," she hissed, her voice a venomous whisper that sent a shiver through the air. Evan said nothing. His breath came in shallow gasps, but he kept his gaze focused on the floor as he wiped at a stain. The Queen's eyes narrowed as she studied him. For a moment he thought he saw the glint of something dangerous in her expression. But he was a janitor. He had no right to question her. "You know the rules?" the Queen continued, her voice rising in pitch. "Failure is not tolerated." She stood from her throne, her long, elegant limbs moving with a predatory grace. "I had you marked. All of you were marked. And yet you linger. You survive." Her eyes flicked down to Evan, an unsettling smirk crossing her face. "It's time to end this." Evan's hands froze. The mop handle slipped from his grip, clattering to the ground. He stood straight, refusing to kneel, refusing to show fear, though his heart was racing. "Please," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. I haven't done anything wrong. Please, Your Majesty, I'm just a janitor." The Queen's laughter was like the sound of 1,000 knives scraping across glass. "You are nothing, human. You are less than nothing. And yet you persist." She waved a hand, and the air around Evan grew thick with tension, as if the very fabric of reality were shifting. For the first time, Evan looked up at her. No, his voice was steady. His gaze didn't waver, even as the weight of her murderous intent pressed upon him. "No, I'm not going to die today." The Queen's smirk faltered, confusion flickering in her eyes. She took a step toward him. "You refuse?" she asked, her voice a low, menacing growl. "Do you know what I am capable of?" "I don't care," Evan said, his voice stronger now. "I'm just a janitor, but I've lived long enough to know that I can say no." The Queen's eyes widened, her hand tightening into a fist. "Foolish human," she snarled. "You are nothing before me." But Evan didn't flinch. The Queen advanced on him, her energy crackling in the air, preparing to strike. But as her hand reached out to deliver the killing blow, something unexpected happened. Evan stood his ground. He had spent his life cleaning up after others had been beaten down, disregarded, and humiliated. But this time he wasn't going to let the queen break him. "You will regret this," she hissed. Just as her hand was about to make contact, but it never did, Evan's eyes, filled with determination, locked onto hers. His mind sharpened, and in that moment he realized that the true power was not in her ability to kill. The true power lay in his refusal to submit. And just like that, in that silent act of defiance, the queen hesitated, the air grew heavy. The oppressive energy surrounding them wavered. And in that split second, Evan saw the weakness. She wasn't invincible. She wasn't omnipotent. She was, in the end, just another being, one that could be defied, one that could be stopped. The queen's hand faltered, and Evan didn't move.